One of my CEO clients asked me recently, he said, Rick, how do we create customers for life? Our customers, our clients fall into several categories. Some of them are one-time buyers and we never see them again. Some of them buy a couple of times and then disappear. And then we got this small group that buy from us repeatedly. How do we move customers from these two lower groups into this group? It's a great question, and it's something that every business struggles with, and the ones that don't should be. I find two things are very critical to creating long-term clients and customers. First is get personal. Go off script. Some people just talk business. When I have client relationships that last the longest, it's because I get personal with them. I know their kids' names. I know their spouse. I know their personal life passions. And I do everything I can to feed the passions. I send them articles about things that I know are of interest to them. I'm always talking to them about things that are their non-business passions and pursuits. I build a file on this, by the way. I take good notes and I review the file before I meet with them, so that this is a process. It's a culture I've created in my head to always know about them before I go see them. So, got to go off script. So, don't just be talking business. Let everybody else talk business. You be the one who goes into the personal side. And the second is solve problems quickly. You know, when everything is going great, that's not how we keep our customers, because that's what they expect. What they don't expect is for us to respond brilliantly when things go south. So I always try to do two things: solve problems quickly and solve them to a greater degree than they expected. And I'll tell you a quick story connected to this. When I was president of an ad agency many years ago, we had a problem creating a brochure for a client. And they didn't like the way the color came off, and it was their retail store, and they had these bright blue carpets. And the blue didn't come off in the final printed piece the way they liked it, and it didn't speak to them. And they wanted the brochures reprinted, and they said, we have a problem here, and they were quite upset about this. Well, we talked it through, and my first thought was, I'm going to solve this for them quickly, and I'm going to solve it for them to a greater degree than they expected. So I said, what would make you happy? What's the best resolution that would make you ecstatic? And they said, well, look, we know we have some culpability in this because we signed off on it. You brought us the proofs, we saw it, we looked at it, and we signed off on it. So you could say it's 50-50, but on the way we look at it, you guys are the experts, we're not. So I think you have more than 50% culpability in it. So this was an $8,000 brochure at the time. It was several years ago. In my head, I was kind of running the numbers, and what I said to myself was, okay, so 50-50 would be 4,000, 4,000, but he thinks that we should own more of it than he does, so maybe he's thinking 5,000 or 6,000. Instantly, I came to a decision. We're going to take all 8,000 of it on us. We're going to eat the whole thing. Now, keep in mind, I didn't make an $8,000 decision. I made a $2,000 decision, because to him, he already thought we should own more than half of it. So that's about $6,000. All I had to do was make a $2,000 decision. That was easy. There were two very favorable outcomes to this. One was 3 weeks later, we were doing budgets for next year. They doubled their budget with us for the next 12 months in that meeting. I don't think that was a coincidence. The second great outcome was they were our client for 10 more years. I don't think that was an accident either. So a lot of longevity came out of that. So a couple of things to help you build long-term customer relationships that's worked for me. Number one is get personal. Go off script. Talk about the personal side, the passions, the family, the personal interests. And second is always solve problems fast and to a higher level than they expected. Exceed their expectations. Those things create long-term customers.